Those of us who have been lucky enough to go to university will know that dealing with bills as a student has some pitfalls. Most students won't know the price of energy. A lot of students won't know how to handle the bills and the paperwork. And that's to say nothing about errant housemates who may be liable for their part of the bill who aren't paying it. Today, I spoke to Elliott Herrod-Taylor, who is the CEO and founder of The Bunch, which is a UK company which is revolutionizing how students pay their bills, and at the same time trying to gamify the way in which students find shared accommodation. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for being with us today. First thing, can you start off by telling us a little bit about what The Bunch does?
Yeah, of course. The Bunch is a platform for people living in shared accommodation, and it covers two aspects. We have a bill management system where we help people living in shared accommodation manage bills between themselves. So they can go on, pick a selection of utilities, broadband, insurances, bundle that all together, and then split that equally amongst all the tenants, who are each left with one consolidated bill. And also a major USP is actually individual liability. So gone are the days of you having to be liable and chasing your housemates for money. And that's historically what we've done for the last 3 years. And then more recently, we are combining our bill management model with a new collaborative lettings tool. So we're helping sharers find houses in a collaborative and fun way where all of the housemates are involved, and they can flick through houses and it starts to work out the preferences within the group, and then they can book viewings, and once they've found that property, our bill management system automatically kicks in.
That sounds good. It sounds like there was an origin story there to some of that. Would that be
Yeah,
fair to say?
so like many people who were at university and moved out of first year halls into private accommodation, there was always that one unlucky person who was left with sorting out the bills for everyone in the house, and unfortunately that was me. So it was me and 10 others in a house in Leeds, and I was liable for all the bills. I was chasing housemates on a weekly basis when they were going out and spending all their money on the weekends, and people left the house, and it just turned out to be an absolute nightmare. So I thought there's got to be a better way of doing this, and after some initial research into the market, there were a few players already there. I thought actually I could do a better job, and with a fairer business model, and that's really where The Bunch was born.
Thanks. So can you walk me through the process from me as a student or somebody living in shared accommodation, finding you guys on Google or social media? Can you walk me through the process of me finding you to me signing up and getting on with getting bills?
Definitely. So we have, of course, we have a sort of paid media campaigns on Instagram, Facebook, Google, but we also do have quite a large sort of referral on the ground presence among universities as well, from a mixture of working with societies. We've got almost 300 ambassadors around the country, and what they do is then when the tenant finds their property, they would then obviously, you don't have a choice, you have to have bills. So what we're providing is an alternative to doing it yourself, where you come onto The Bunch, you pick your services, we go out to suppliers, get bulk buying discounts, which we pass on at cost, and then you sign up individually with your own payment details, and then you're just sent one bill per month for all of the services that your house has selected, and which is just your share. And then everything from installation of broadband to switching of energy is all managed by The Bunch, and it's just one consolidated platform for them to manage bills in a household.
That sounds good. And how do you guys generate revenue?
So our model, which is following on from what I said about what is already out there, is different in the fact that we don't mark up the services. So rather, like, I don't know, even it's not just a question for students, even fully grown adults don't know what a good price is for a kilowatt of energy, and so there's an ignorance there which can be abused, and we thought that it was being abused by certain players. And so what we decided to do is, our model is we go out to supplier, get as cheap as possible, pass that on at cost, and then we have a transparent fixed subscription fee of £10 per person per month. And that's where we make our revenue, and included in that is the management, but also the individual liability.
So there's two sides of your business, as I understand it. There's a utility side, and then there's the property listing side, which sounds interesting. Tell me a bit more about that. So are you competing with property portals, or how does it work?
So where we looked at the listings portal is we wanted to add an extra layer of value to our customers. And one of the other key problems that I saw in that space, apart from bills, was actually renting a property. It's not as easy as it seems, and it can also come with its own complications. So what we wanted to do was provide a platform for students who can find houses bills inclusive. So all of the houses on the site are all bills inclusive using our billing platform. And what it then does is it's collaborative. So I download the app, me, you, and maybe 3 others might be in a house. I go through a filtering process of 5-bed house, £120 a week in Leeds in this area. And then I invite my housemates, and then all of us are shown on either the web or the app the bulk of houses. So we've then built it like a dating tool where you all swipe through all the houses. We've gamified it in the way that it's you continue to swipe of those sensations that you get when you use a dating app. You don't want to miss out. You can then see all the information, and then we'll actually leave comments as well that can be seen by the rest of your housemates. And once you've gone through that process, the system then works out all of the preferences within the household. So you can see your own favorites, you can then see the group favorites, and it tracks it by how many people in your group liked the house the most. You can then see the comments, and then you can then actually go and book a viewing or make an offer on the property directly through the platform. And then once you sign that house, the bill management automatically kicks in, and we ensure that all your broadband and all the energy is switched when you arrive.
Sounds good to me. Anything that you can do online as a student sounds much better than having to get off the sofa. One question I had was, how do you source the listings? Are you going direct through landlords, or is there some sort of affiliation?
No, so the core principle of that model is to attract more bills customers and add more value to the stakeholders. So we go to letting agencies, we go to landlords, and we offer a free to list platform. So they receive quite high quality leads in the way that it's gamified, and that all of the housemates are involved in that process. And then we provide them a lead on the flip side of a sort of partnership deal where we say, look, if the lead has come from the bunch, then we want you to sign them up to our bills package. And it's a sort of win-win situation for both us and the agents.
Interesting. So a lot of our viewers will be international viewers and maybe not so familiar with how the UK system works. I don't know if this is something you guys have thought about, but do you see scope for international expansion eventually?
Yeah, I think that's always a dream of ours. I think we've still got a lot to do in the UK before we think about that. But ultimately, the concepts are the same. So people all over the world will be sharing properties and having to share bills. And no one in the world, especially in the countries that we would look to target, are going to be exempt from paying bills or finding houses. And so the concepts and the problems will be replicated all over the world. And we've built the technology in a way that it can be picked up, and new suppliers anywhere can be plugged in. So eventually it could be something that we look to either franchise or potentially look to take elsewhere.
And last question from me. So 2020 has obviously been the year that it's been so far with its unique challenges. How has that affected you guys and your business model? We've obviously seen some companies that have benefited, especially in property marketplaces. What's been the case with you guys?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. I think from a billing angle, it's caused some concerns, because what's happened in the student market is that a lot of people actually just left their student houses and went back to their parents. And so there was a big influx of people leaving their student accommodation. Obviously, that was out of our usual cycle. So we had to then bring operations forward in terms of shutting houses down, managing usage, and it did cause a few more concerns in a household, because if some people have left and they're not contributing to and they're not actually using any of the bills, then there could cause a few negative feelings towards other housemates. But that was manageable. I think on the billing selling cycle, what we saw is that the sales cycle just increased. So the time between, our conversion cycle increased. So usually from the point of quote to sign up is about 10 days. But we saw that go up to about 3 to 4 weeks. And I think one thing that we did see is, and I think it was hard for anyone to really anticipate, is really the effects it did have during the time. So what we've had to then do is really look back over, we did a big exercise last month about looking back and seeing where we can adapt the product to the new normal. And really that's what we're implementing now, is those new processes and new added values to improve that.
Products on the horizon?
The only thing I can sort of go through, which would be interesting, I think, is looking at how we can apply our liability model to other areas of the rental journey. So the individual liability during COVID was a massive selling point, because obviously people didn't want to be liable for other people's shares in such uncertain time. And we're looking at how we can apply that to rent and different models as well.
It all sounds good. I've got to say, I wish you guys were around when I was a student. Well, thanks very much for talking to us, Elliott. Wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing how the bunch evolves.
Thank you very much for your time.